are your goals for 2026 as a leader? Have you ever wanted to have a conversation with someone and get some insight in terms of some strategies that you can use to accomplish your goals? Today is your lucky day because we are going to be talking about leadership and communication goals for 2026. And we are at the cusp of 2026. This is New Year's Eve for those of you who are watching now. And I want to share with you that if you are watching this portion of the video, you are more than likely watching the replay. But I don't want you to feel like you were not present to ask any questions. If anything comes up for you, maybe you have a goal you're trying to accomplish and something you're trying to take a part in and be able to do a lot more as it relates to your career and professionally, then leave it in the comments below. I'll be happy to leave you a response or do a video just for you to help you develop that strategy that you need to be successful in 2026. There are 4 executive coaching questions that I'm going to share with you. Now, these questions are normally questions I would share with my clients that are women in leadership in a one-on-one or in a group executive coaching session. You are going to have access to these questions for no charge today. This is what we're going to do. Let's talk about what your goals are. Ask me any questions. Learn from my over 20 years of experience as a C-suite executive, a manager, and a director, and a public speaker to help you be able to communicate at a higher level than your peers and accomplish some of those very big leadership goals that you're trying to accomplish this upcoming year. Now, I want to start off this live by telling you that many times leaders struggle with setting goals and accomplishing them. We all go into New Year's, and let me know if this has ever happened to you. We go into New Year's and we're thinking, new year, new me, right? And we come up with this long list of things that we have to accomplish by the end of January. And one of the challenges that I personally faced as I was developing myself, and really when I became an executive coach, I actually learned this about myself. Sometimes as very high achieving individuals and leaders, we just have too many things that we're thinking about. We're thinking about way too many things, and we try to take care of things all at one time. This happens to women in leadership. This happens to men in leadership too. And oftentimes we overestimate what we're going to be able to try to accomplish in a certain amount of time. And I don't want you to do that. That's why we can talk about it in this session today and give you something and some insight, some strategy to help you come up with these goals for 2026 and help you be able to go to that next level and uncover what these challenges are for you. So I want to say hello to Ramesh Cannon 1798. Welcome back, Robert. How are you doing today? Good to see you. Happy New Year, Robert. Hope you're doing well today. Today is really a very, very, very informal live Q&A. We are at 2026, and I'm really excited to be here with you all. Many of you know I go live Tuesday through Friday, but last week and this week are holidays, so I'm not live as much. So tonight will be my last live for the week, and then next Tuesday, we're back to the normal schedule. Tuesday through Friday, in the morning, in the evening, live just for you all. But today, I really want to provide you all with any insight, any strategies, anything you want to talk through as you're trying to plan for 2026. I know many of you are very ambitious and amazing leaders, and I know you're trying to elevate yourselves and accomplish some big goals, but maybe there's something that you're struggling with. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about today. Let's come up with a strategy for you while I'm live today to help you, and I'll share with you a few executive coaching questions that can help you to start gaining a very good perspective in terms of what you want to do for this upcoming year. So Robert says, Happy New Year with the celebration emojis. Have a wonderful and successful year ahead. Robert, high five. Glad to see you. I appreciate your well wishes, and I hope you have an absolutely amazing 2026 as well, friend. We have Unreal Acts. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing well today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you all are joining from today. And what are your plans for 2026 as a leader? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your plans. If there's something about your goals or your plans as it relates to leadership and how you are communicating that you are feeling not sure about, and you just want to have a sounding board or someone to talk it through with you, this is your night. This is your night to do it. I know many individuals are out hanging out and having a good time and probably doing a lot of things and partying, this is your time to ask me anything. I'm here to support you in the way that I can. What are some of your goals as it relates to leadership and communication specifically? Let me know. Let's talk it through. Let's go through a strategy with you. I will give you any support that you need to help you understand and do a couple things to help you be able to navigate these challenges this year. Okay, we have Unreal Access. Do you know what a word means? I don't know what that means. You're welcome to let me know what that is in reference to. We're talking about a professional topic as relates to setting goals for leadership and communication this year. So if it's something related to that, let me know in the comments below. Be happy to talk about it. As I mentioned, many people are at the very beginning of their journey, and they are at a place where we're all starting at the beginning of the year. That is for every one of us, regardless of where you are in the world today. Now, I want to encourage you that many times people struggle with these New Year's resolutions or these goals, etc. Why? Because we put too much on ourselves to try to accomplish in a short amount of time. I did this. I learned this when I was working through a coach that I worked with for many years. She was able to help me understand that sometimes I just put way too many things on my plate and I just can't do it all. Now, this is something that I want you all to avoid. And so I'm going to share with you a couple of coaching questions, executive coaching questions that if you've worked with an executive coach before, maybe you've had these questions, but these questions will help you be able to really start thinking about what it is that you really need to start working on this upcoming year. So Robert says, I have been promoted as process coach in my organization. Well, congratulations, Robert. Fantastic. Congratulations on that big win. Okay, Robert says, I feel proud of myself. And you should, Robert. High five. I feel proud of you also. Okay, Robert says, I feel proud of myself. Your support and guidance helped me to achieve this. Oh, Robert, that is so wonderful. I appreciate you so much. I really well did really well in the final presentation round. Thank you, ma'am. Well, Robert, that just makes my day. Robert, and I had a long day today. That just made my day, friend. It really did. I'm so happy. One, that you made it to process coach in your organization. That's fantastic. And I am so happy that some of the insights I shared with you helped you on your journey to do very well in your final presentation round. That it just makes my day. I mean, that actually helps. This is a wonderful New Year's for me, just because it starts off like that. I'm excited for you. Let me know, what are some plans? What are some goals that you have in this new role this upcoming year? What are some challenges that you're foreseeing that maybe you want to talk about? We can come up with a strategy and talk about it a little bit. Robert says, I performed well in the final presentation round. I'm really just excited for you. I have a lot of my clients. I just actually had a client of mine. How long? It's been almost 2 weeks where we've worked together for a very long time. And she's at a place where she had a presentation to do, also multiple presentations she had to do. And she secured a multiple six-figure job opportunity. And I'm so proud of her. And this is what I do. This is how I help my clients. And even if you're not in my direct audience that I'm doing executive coaching services with in terms of consulting and etc., as being a woman in leadership, I'm still here to support you any way that I can, just like Robert. Robert's here on the channel and has been on the channel and was able to do really well with the final round of the interviews that he did, because we talked about a lot of things here. I'm here to help you any way that I can. I'm really here just to support you all as much as I can. All right, so Robert, let me know what other questions you have, or what are some goals that you're planning for this year as it relates to leadership and communication. Let's all congratulate Robert, because he has a big promotion and we're really excited for Robert. I want to celebrate that with you here today, friend. I'm very happy for you. And that's a wonderful way to start the new year. We have Sophia Torres, Z2Y. Hello, Sophia. How are you doing today? Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you all are joining from today. And let's talk about it. Do you have goals as it relates to leadership and communication for 2026? If you do, this is the best place for you today. Let's talk through strategy. Let's talk through some ways that you can accomplish these goals and set yourself up for success for 2026. Now, as I was mentioning earlier, this is something that is a challenge for many people, because oftentimes as high achievers and leaders and etc., find ourselves in a situation where we are just doing a lot. We're doing way too much. So there's a couple executive coaching questions I want you all just to write down, or maybe if you're watching the replay, just pause and think about these questions because they're going to help you very, 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 very much. Now, the first question is going to be, what did you accomplish in 2026? Take a moment and write it down. Why do I ask you that? Because as leaders, we oftentimes do not take the time to really celebrate our successes in terms of exactly what we are trying to accomplish and what we have done over the years. Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like you just do one goal, you take care of it, do another goal, you take care of it, you do another goal, you take care of it, and you just keep going up, keep climbing up the ladder? We all have done that. But it's important for you to recognize and remember what are some of the really wonderful things you've done this year, and just to reflect on your celebration and your successes that you've had over the year. For instance, Robert was promoted to a process coach. That's fantastic. That's a great way to just start and say, you know what, I accomplished something really big this year. That's fantastic. So take a few moments to think of what it is that you accomplished this year. Maybe your top 3 accomplishments. There's something you've done. If you clicked on this video and you subscribed to my channel, I know you're amazing. And I know you have done something really wonderful this year as a woman in leadership or as a man in leadership as well. The second question I want to share with you, we have the question about what did you accomplish in 2025? Now, what are your goals for 2026? Let's talk about leadership and communication. And our channel is focused heavily on professional topics. So what are some goals that you have as a leader in 2026? So take a few moments, think about what your goals are, and write them down. Or if you want to strategize and talk through them, we can do that as well. Now, before I go into the next question, which is very important, these are very good executive coaching questions to help you move forward in your career a bit faster than you would normally and help you increase your income and all those wonderful things. Let me see what's going on in the chat. We have Unreal X says something about playing Fortnite. I do not play Fortnite, Unreal X. Believe it or not, I do not play that. I have played Roblox a few times with my daughter. Robert says, I randomly came to your live stream when I applied for the process coach role, and then I noted your words, watched many videos, and made me achieve this PC role today. Oh, that's so great, Robert. I'm so happy. I really am. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so excited for you. I'm glad the videos were helpful. Robert, let me know if there's any other topics that you want me to do more videos about, or if there's something that you saw in the videos where you felt as if you wanted to just gain more insight on it, especially as you're transitioning to a process coach role. I know you're going to be in a setting where you're helping other individuals with their specific processes and etc. Let me know. I'm here to support you, and I appreciate the hearts and the smiley faces. Let me know if there's anything else, Robert, that came up for you that maybe you want to learn more about, because as you transition to that next level, there's that next step that you take too. And let me know if there's anything I can support you with and talk about on your journey to help you do amazingly well as a process coach. And congratulations once again, friend. We have 3UNO14DACAK3. Hello, how are you doing today? Let me know what part of Big Beautiful World you all are joining from today. And we have, okay, that individual says you are a good mom. Well, thank you. I try to be a good mom to my little kids. Now, the third question I want to ask you, now we went over 3. The questions I'm sharing with you are executive coaching questions that I share with my clients, but I'm sharing them with you today because I want you to be very successful in this upcoming year. So we talked about first, what did you accomplish in 2025? What did you accomplish? Second, we talked about what are your goals for 2026? What are they? Where do you see yourself professionally? What are some things that you're trying to accomplish in your leadership role, or perhaps as you are communicating? I have a couple people that I have spoken with already this year that are really trying to work on strengthening their communication skills. And if this is something you're trying to do, you're more than welcome to watch some videos on the channel, as Robert mentioned. Just learn as much as you can. There's a lot of free resources here. I'm sharing with you literally over 20 years worth of experience as a C-suite executive, a manager and a director, a public speaker, and I've worked with congressional leaders on the national level and here locally in Florida. I've seen a lot, done a lot, and that's the reason why I communicate the way that I do, and I want to make sure that you're stronger in communication also. So feel free to watch as many videos as you like to. You're always welcome to subscribe if you want to learn more and be a part of our amazing community here. I really appreciate you all being here, but that's a great way to learn as much as you can. Before I go into my next question, let me see what is in the chat. Robert says, now my role is to give training to the newcomers and do a leadership role and make a report of each one's performance and schedule a meeting with them to improve the streamline process. Yes, Robert, I remember you talking about that before, and I remember us talking about that. I was talking about the process and what you were trying to do. So I'm glad that that worked out. So I know we talked about training, and I feel like at this point, you're probably in a good place in terms of how to measure their successes. Remember, we talked about, specifically, I shared with you what I did as a C-suite when I did the analysis, the assessment. This person should be proficient at this role by, if they complete this task X amount of times, etc. So that's a really good thing to think about. One of the things we also talked about too, I'm thinking for your role specifically, what you're working on now is going to be so incredibly helpful to them because you're going to be able to give them data. They will be able to see where they are as your newcomers, how they got there, where they are, I guess, compared to their peers, and what they may need additional support on. And it's good for you because when you're having your newcomers, we've talked about this on a couple other lives specifically, and it has a lot to do with, is this person the right fit? Or are they going to learn this information? Or is this person going to struggle and do they perhaps need to be at a different location? So it helps you out in so many ways. It helps you to be able to support your team so that they can go to that next level. And then it also will help your administration and you also, Robert, to know, okay, this person is working out, they're in a good place, or this person is not working out the way we'd like for it to. Maybe they need to go to another department, or maybe they need to go to another company altogether. So developing that process is so incredibly important. I would say one of the things that will help you as you are developing this role is to just, the main thing, Robert, is to be consistent. Robert, sometimes what happens when we are busy in those leadership roles, things just kind of get away from us sometimes. And I'm being quite honest with you, they do. Life happens, you start having to put out fires, you start having to do a lot of other things. What will be very helpful is to just stay consistent. So even on those days, Robert, because I know you're doing amazing things, I'm so excited for you, friend. Even on those days when you have a lot going on and you're very busy and you need to have that conversation with someone, just make sure you make that time for them, friend, to have that conversation and let them know where they are and keep consistently tracking their data so that they can go to the next level that they need to in the process that you're trying to coach them on. So those are some things I'm just thinking about off the top of my head that may help you as you're developing this process. Now, one of the other questions I want to share with you, that's a really important question if you're trying to set your goals. And for those of you who are joining, welcome. Glad you're here today. If you have a leadership or a communication goal that you want to accomplish in 2026, this is the absolute best place for you to be on New Year's Eve today, because you have the ability to ask me any questions as it relates to these topics and go over strategies. I'm here to help you do strategies. Strategy sessions that I work with my clients on for my executive coaching clients are typically $385. That's what they're posted on my website. And so I'm actually here with you right now, giving you a strategy session for free. So feel free to ask me any questions as it relates to leadership, communication, anything I can do to support you, friends, to help you have a very successful 2026. I'm here to help you. Let's talk about it. And if you're watching this video, you're welcome to put something in the comments in the replay. Let me know what are some areas that you're struggling with, and we can talk about, maybe develop a strategy for you around it. Okay, Robert says, I believe I will do my role in the very best way, and I hope I give the consistent positive results. I know you will, Robert. Your guidance will always help me and boost my confidence in communication. Well, Robert, you're so very, very, very welcome, friend, and I'm glad I was able to help you in some way, shape, or form on your journey. If there's anything else you have questions about, or anything that comes up for you, maybe you have a situation that's coming up for you in your role and you're trying to figure out, well, how should I handle that? What should I do? You're always welcome to reach out to me. So you know I'm here on YouTube, but I'm also on Instagram at exciteexcellence.org. And then also on LinkedIn at Instagram at Excite Excellence, LinkedIn at Excite Excellence, or Dr. Jacinta Lamantai, and I'm on Facebook. Also, you're welcome to reach out to me on any of those platforms if something comes up for you, Robert. It's in between lives and etc. So just let me know. Let me know. I'll help you any way that I can. Robert says, you are doing a great job, ma'am. Keep rocking. Thank you for the fireworks. I appreciate all your efforts. Well, Robert, I appreciate you, and I'm really excited for you and the growth that you were able to accomplish with this process coach. Congratulations. And I know you're going to do amazing. And I know the company is so probably incredibly happy to have you transition into this role. Now, my next question I want to ask you all, and these are questions you want to keep in mind as you're developing your goals for 2026. This is a big one. This is what you want to write down. What are some of the obstacles that you may face in trying to accomplish your goals? Why do I mention that question specifically? Because one of the things that people, and hold on just one second, I had to drop, there was something on something I dropped on the floor. But one of the things that comes up often, and before I go into, let me see what Robert says. Robert says, I will be right back after a short time, ma'am. Thank you. Absolutely, Robert. Congratulations again, friend. I'm just double high fives. I'm just so happy for you. I'm so happy for you, friend. I really am. So why do I ask you that question about the obstacles? This is where you develop your strategy. Many people, and let me know if this has happened to you before, we all come up with goals. We come up with goals, right? Do you have goals for this year? Sophia said yes. What are they? We have a lot of goals that we come up with. However, do we ever sit and take a moment to think about what could be some challenges that I may face in accomplishing these goals? Most of the time, people do not think about this because we're so focused in our mind on, we got to accomplish this goal. We got to accomplish this goal. But take a few moments and think about what challenges may you face, what obstacles may come into play that you can foresee. Now, oftentimes, many of us know that there's things that happen that we can't foresee. I had a year like that this year for me personally. I had a year where I had absolutely no idea the changes that were going to happen to me so quickly. However, being able to at least think ahead as much as you can will help you to be able to overcome and manage those situations along with a lot of prayer. That's for sure. But take some time and think about those challenges. Be that person that actually can accomplish goals this year, not the person that just says, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that and this too. No, think about it. What could hold you up from accomplishing your goal? Once you determine what that is, then you can start to develop a strategy around how to address those issues. Therefore, when you get to the place where you're trying to accomplish this goal and you see that there's something preventing you from moving forward in 2026, then you can say, oh, I remember this is something that could potentially stop me from accomplishing this goal. How can I bring in that strategy? This helps you to think ahead. This is what people do when they're doing investing and they are planning ahead and strategizing in their businesses and etc. You always try to think ahead. And this is something that leaders tend to struggle with because we are all so focused on the immediate task at hand, the problems that we're dealing with, the fires we have to put out, our teams we have to communicate with, that we don't have the opportunity to really take that time to think ahead from everybody else. So I've shared with you a couple executive coaching questions for you to think about as you are transitioning into 2026. For those of you who just joined, welcome. I'm going to go over those questions again, and I have one more I want to share with you. The first question is, what did you accomplish in 2025? Write them down. What did you accomplish in 2025? Write that down. The second is, what goals are you planning to accomplish, whether it's your leadership goals or communication goals, in 2026? Write those goals down. The next is, what are some of the obstacles that may prevent you from accomplishing your goals? Really have an honest conversation with yourself and figure out what those obstacles could be. And my fourth question for you is, what are you not willing to tolerate in 2026 that you did in 2025? Now, this question is more of a self-reflective type question because many of us deal with things, especially as leaders. You may have boundaries that have been crossed, and we've done this entire month of December. If you watch my channel, the entire month of December, just about, we have talked about boundaries, 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 and boundaries again. Now, why do I ask you, what are you not willing to tolerate in 2026 that you did in 2025? Because sometimes we need to really think about what it is that we've dealt with that we don't want to deal with again. Now, let me know in the comments below, have you tolerated something in 2025 that you know you are not going to tolerate in 2026? I have plenty of things. And this is why we reflect on this time now so that we can start thinking about these situations. For example, if you have something that's happening at your business, your company you're working for, and etc., and you know it is affecting you physically, it's affecting your health, maybe you're not being able to take breaks or get the rest that you need, then there may be some aspects of this particular role that you do not need to tolerate in 2026. Why do I mention that now? Because I don't want you all to be caught off guard. And many times we're caught off guard as leaders because we simply have not had the opportunity to strategize and think ahead in terms of what we need to potentially deal with and respond to at any point in time. So what happens when you're caught off guard? Let's say you have a situation. I'm going to give just a random example of something that I know one of my clients was really struggling with. So one of the clients I've worked with in the past was struggling with time at work. Her job specifically would always require her to work after the time she's supposed to work. So instead of her leaving at 5 o'clock, she normally would leave at 6:30. And it would start to stress her out because once she left at 6:30, she would go home, interact with her family, and then find herself again back on her phone, looking at her emails and scrolling through to respond to emails again. And that balance of work and life just did not exist for her. The reason I mention that is because she tolerated that a lot in 2025 to the point where she just felt like she just wanted to quit her role altogether. But after we had an executive coaching session, she found that she didn't really want to quit the role, but she needed to set better boundaries because she's always a person that's trying to help people, encourage them, and do above and beyond, which is what happens to many people that are my clients and the individuals of the audience here on YouTube and LinkedIn and Instagram and Facebook. You all are amazing people and you're doing a lot of amazing things. And sometimes we overextend ourselves. So what did she decide to do? She decided, and we had a session not too long ago, she decided that she was going to have a conversation with her direct hiring manager about time and boundaries and making sure that she sets those boundaries in a way to where they're respected. So that when she goes into 2026 and that someone tries to cross her boundary and tell her, oh, I need you to help me with this project, I still got another hour, can you help me? She already automatically knows what her response is going to be. She knows that her default response is going to be what we discussed. And her specific statement that she says is different than your statement, or it may be different than your circumstances. So it really just depends, but you have to develop some type of templated response when people start to cross your boundaries, which is the reason why I asked you, what are you not willing to tolerate in 2026 that you tolerated in 2025 as a leader? What is it? What is it? And if it's not one thing, perhaps it's multiple things. And if it's multiple things, that's fine. We just need to develop a strategy in terms of how you're going to address them when they come up. This is what I do with my clients that are women in leadership. This is what we talk about in our executive strategy session. And if this type of questions really helped you to start thinking about 2026 as a leader in some aspects of your life that you may want to start working on, then sign up for a strategy session in the description below. We'll spend some time, we'll talk about a few things and just determine what type of overall strategy do you need, and then we can always do a deeper dive and go into more specific and customized, personalized strategies just for you so you can go to that next level in your careers. Now, I want to know from all of you, where are you joining from? Welcome, welcome. Glad you're here. And what are your goals for 2026? Let's talk about them. As I mentioned earlier, this is an opportunity if you are really at a point where you're trying to advance in your career as a leader and you want to just have a conversation about maybe I'm struggling with this goal. I don't know exactly what I want to do or how I want to do it. Feel free to ask me. I'm here to support you in any way that I can, and I want to be able to help you. Just like Robert talked about being able to be a process coach now, we've had several conversations here on my live streams with Robert, and he was able to secure a promotion, and that's what I'm here for. I'm here to support you and help you in the way that I can. Just let me know what questions y'all have as it relates to the goals that you're trying to accomplish in 2026. Now, there's a couple things that I would want you all to just think about as we're waiting for responses to come in. There's a couple of boundaries, and I've talked about this at length on my channel this particular month, but there's a few boundaries that go into that last question that I just shared with you that you may want to just get a pen and paper and just write them down, because these boundaries are boundaries that you may want to consider reinforcing, or at least thinking about how do you want these boundaries to look in your life specifically in 2026. And I talk about this at length on my channel this entire month of December, because I know this is a struggle. Many people don't want to talk about boundaries because they can sometimes turn into contentious conversations, and sometimes people don't know how to communicate under pressure. But if you subscribe to my channel or you work with me directly, you will learn how to communicate under pressure very quickly. The boundaries I want you to keep in mind are your time boundary, your money boundary, your energy boundary, your personal boundary, and your professional boundary. Now, there's many other boundaries that you can work on. However, I just narrowed it down to 5 that I have seen many people, especially women in leadership, tend to struggle with as it relates to how to navigate these boundaries. Now, men in leadership struggle with these boundaries too. So this is something that you want to keep in mind regardless of where you are. And maybe you're not a leader just yet. Maybe you're thinking about transitioning into a leadership role and you're just not quite sure of how you want to make that transition. Well, being able to develop your boundaries in advance is something that will help you very much as you are trying to transition into that next leadership role. Why? Because many people, they struggle with this. They really struggle with their boundaries. And I've talked about this a lot. And I mentioned just a moment ago, the reason people struggle with boundaries so much as leaders is because they are worried about communicating under pressure, and they simply do not feel comfortable doing so. Most of the time, people will say, I don't know what to say. I don't know how to say it. I don't know when to say it. I don't know where to say it, and etc. But you can learn it. It's a skill that you learn to develop and master. So if you want to learn more, definitely take a look at my live tab. I have a lot of videos here that talk about different ways to communicate under pressure, managing your emotions under pressure, your tone of voice, your eye contact, your body language. There's a lot of videos here that will help you be able to manage these situations when they come up. But just remember, you don't want to tolerate the same things you did in 2025 in 2026. Like, you absolutely don't want to do that. So let me know in the comments below, what are some aspects of your professional life, in your businesses or in your workplace settings, that you feel like you've just been tolerating, and you're at a point in your career where you don't want to tolerate those things anymore. Let me know in the comments below. I will share with you a couple of aspects that I used to tolerate many years ago when I was a W-2 employee. I do not tolerate them anymore. But some of the aspects that I really struggled with for me personally was my time and my energy. I struggle with that a lot. And I used to tolerate people wanting me to do extra work or wanting me to help them with the big project, because I typically would get the project taken care of. And I found that as I transitioned year after year, these situations just drained my energy, because I was putting so much effort and work into someone else's project, but I wasn't able to take care of my own specific project that I was actually working on. And this is something that I personally struggle with, and I had to come to a point where I said I'm no longer going to tolerate staying extra and doing extra things. Now, when I personally did that, that included me not staying late. It included me not going to a lot of company events that were after hours. There's a lot of things that I completely just did not do. Now, did the people I work with, did they not like it? Yes, they didn't like it because they expected me to be there even though I was not there. And at some point in time, you have to say yes to yourself. And I know that may be something that people and many leaders have a hard time doing, but you have to say yes to yourself because some of the roles you're working in, they may not be supporting you. If you have your own business, you have to really be present for your clients. And that means you have to say yes to yourself too, meaning that if you need time to take a break and to disconnect and to strategize and to plan, and that means you're not working with clients in a one-on-one basis, that's okay. You have to say yes to yourself. If you're working in a organization and you're at the point where you're leading teams or you're managing big projects and etc., and you're feeling a bit just frustrated with your role and burnt out and you don't know what to do, you have to take time to say yes to yourself. And what yes means to yourself may be very different for you, and it is probably very different for me. You have to find out what exactly does that mean specifically that will help you be able to get more of a grasp on your life so that you're not feeling as stressed, you're feeling a lot better. All right, let me see what came up on the chat. Opindi Frederick, welcome back, friend. How you doing today? Opindi Frederick says, hey, sister, hope you're good. I want to wish you a happy new year to you and your family. Well, thank you, Opindi Frederick, and I hope you and your family have a happy new year as well. High five from here. I hope y'all have an absolute amazing, amazing New Year's. Now, we've talked about a few executive coaching questions to help you be able to develop some strategies, some plans for you to think about as you're going into 2026. And if you are watching live or watching the replay of this video and you have something, anything that you're trying to work on in your leadership and communication aspects of your career, and maybe you want a sounding board on and you're trying to figure out, well, how should I do this? How should I plan my next steps to owning a business? How should I plan my next steps to becoming a C-suite executive? How should I plan my next steps to becoming a manager? How should I plan my next steps to becoming a supervisor? Feel free to leave it in the comments below on this video or on any videos, and I will give you some insight, give you some strategies to maybe think about as it relates to your specific transition that you are trying to accomplish. Maybe you're trying to do work with your orphanage, just like Opindi Frederick. We had a long conversation about this yesterday. So if there's some strategies that you want to talk through or have a conversation about, I'm here really to support all of you. I appreciate you all so much for being followers and subscribers to my channel. It means the world to me, and I really want to provide you with any insights, any executive level strategies that can help you go to that next level. Learn from the mistakes that I've made. Learn how to accelerate your growth just a little bit faster, and that should be something that you're looking for also in 2026. Now, this is a bonus, but I encourage you all to find individuals or find potential mentors or business owners or other people in C-suite or leadership roles that have been where you are. And why do I mention that? When you're trying to elevate yourself in your careers, you have to really find people that are at least one step ahead of you, because that will allow you to catch up in your career. Now, if you are the person that people are reaching out to, you want to be one step ahead of them so that they are able to get the support that they need as they're transitioning into their careers. This is so incredibly important. And being a part of our channel here on YouTube is a great way to learn that. We have many people here that have done some really amazing things, and they may be one step ahead of you. So if you're live and we have a conversation, we can learn from each other. You're always welcome to reach out to me as well. Of course, I have been a W-2 employee. I've been a business owner, and I have made that transition from W-2 to business owner. And I know how hard it can be. Many people this is the part of their life that they're just completely afraid of, and they just don't know what to do and how to do it. But if you want to get some insight there, feel free to let me know. If there's something specific, maybe you're at the point where you're wanting to be a bit more visible to the world, and you are wanting to get onto YouTube and do videos and create content and help other people, let me know. I'll support you any way that I can. I have started with 0 subscribers, just like everybody else on YouTube. And I've grown my audience, and we're still growing. So any insight that I can share with you, I'm here to help any way that I can. If you need some support on live streaming, as many of you know, I'm on YouTube's live streamer research panel for the next year. So if you have some insights, let me know. I'm here to support you any way that I can to really just advance in your careers. So I appreciate you all so much for spending some time with me. I do have a few exciting posts I'm going to do this week on my communities tab. So stay tuned for those. One is about my vehicle that I wrapped and told many of you I did do that specifically for my business. I am going to be hosting a scholarship here this week for individuals that are in my direct target audience of women in leadership, that will include 1 or 2 services. And if you submit an application, you may be able to be a recipient of the scholarship to help you fast track your success in 2026. So you want to definitely stay tuned for those and take a look out for them. Now, if you're not in my direct target audience, there's a lot of other things that we're going to be working on the channel. I'm planning out some content for this upcoming year, and I want to get your insight in terms of what you would like to learn a lot more about. That's regardless of where you are in my audience. You could be a woman in leadership, a man in leadership. I want to hear from you to know what it is that you want to focus on this year, or how you want me to support you as you are developing in your careers. I hope you all have an absolute amazing New Year's and enjoy your time with your family, with your friends. Celebrate this year. Many of you have been through a lot this year and have overcame a lot of challenges this year. I know it. We've talked about them. Just know that you've overcame challenges, and now we're stepping into something new. We're stepping into something new. You have a good framework. You know where you're trying to go. You may just need a little support on the way, and that's why I'm here. I'm here to help you all any way that I can. So I hope you have an amazing New Year's, and I will see you all back next Tuesday. Back to regular schedule. We're back to regular schedule. Now, before I go, Oliver Martinez, J5R, says hello again. Hello, Oliver. Welcome back, friend. Hope you're doing well. We were just talking about a couple of strategies as it relates to 2026 in terms of planning for your goals. So Oliver Martinez says, oh, you have to go. Yes, we've been live for a little bit. This is a shorter live just because it's New Year's Eve and I got to take care of my kids. So I have a couple of things I need to do with them, especially getting ready for the holiday. But Oliver Martinez, we just talked about a couple of coaching questions that you may want to consider as you're planning for 2026. I'll go over them really quickly for you. One is, what did you accomplish in 2025 that you want to celebrate? Think of at least one or 3 things. Number 2, what are your goals for 2026? What obstacles may prevent you from reaching those goals in 2026? This will help you to start strategizing and planning ahead. And then the final question I have is an executive coaching question, is around the following. What did you tolerate in 2025 that you are not willing to tolerate in 2026? So if you take a moment and write down responses to those questions, it will help you to start developing a strategy for 2026 in terms of what it is you want to accomplish. So Oliver Martinez, J5R, says, I accomplished my fear. Okay, well, fantastic. That is wonderful. And I'm so incredibly excited for you that you did that. So now, what's the plan for 2026? That's what we were talking about. So if you have anything specific that you want to share with me, let me know. I'm here to help you do some strategies and develop some strategies for some of the goals you're trying to accomplish. I'm here to help you any way that I can. I hope you all have an absolutely wonderful New Year's. And Oliver Martinez, I hope you have an amazing New Year as well, friend. And I will see you all next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, we'll be back to the normal schedule where I will be live Tuesday through Friday in the morning, in the evening, to support you all as you're transitioning into the very first week of 2026. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, one more thing. Oliver Martinez says, I went on the great white shark at SeaWorld. It was scary. I bet so. I'm sure that it was. I'm sure that it was pretty scary, but I'm glad that you accomplished and overcame your fear, friend. I'm sure it was very, very scary. I can only imagine how scary that was, Oliver. Only imagine. So I hope you all have an amazing day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.